Que pasa YouTube, SixftHax here, happy you guys. Today the team builder for week number 9 of GBA D League Season 4. This week we are taking on ITZDEEBZ, aka ITZDEEBZ, coach of the Calgary Flame Wheels, who, if he does beat us this week, not only hands us our second loss, but will also continue his race into the playoffs. But if we are able to beat him, then I think he can no longer make playoffs. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's either, if he wins though, I do know if he wins, he definitely makes playoffs. But if we beat him, I think his chances are slim to none at that point. So regardless though, we are still number 1 in our well, not division, in the league, I guess, because there's no divisions. What am I talking about? We're number 1 overall. Hopefully we can continue our streak. If you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer arm that thumbs up button down below. And as always, guys, please let me know what are the 6 Pokemon that you would bring to this match. Let me know in the comment section below if you were us building for our opponent. So as you can see below me, we have our matchup, the Z-Mons, that Deebs has are Landorus and the Golisopod, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely Landorus, like 90% sure it's Golisopod as well. So this is super nice because we don't have to worry about like boosting Z Lucario or Leaf Storm Z Superior, not even like Z move Rotom or Sneasel. So that's going to be really nice. But the main thing about going into this matchup is that he does have some pretty fat mons that he could easily bring to this game. Porygon 2 and Vaporeon seem very likely to come. Togekiss also has a pretty good matchup this game. I honestly kind of don't expect Porygon 2, mainly for the fact that we do have 2 great fighting types in Infernape and Medicham, so I could see why he wouldn't want to bring the Porygon 2. I also do kind of expect him to bring either Rotom, Sneasel, or Golisopod. At least one of those 3 I think is definitely coming to this match. But Landorus and Charizard X, those 2 are definitely coming. I'd bet money those 2 are coming. He needs Superior for our Zydog. Vaporeon is his best switching to any type of Infernape that we could potentially bring. Then his final mon could either be Nihilego, Lucario, or the Togekiss. Probably Lucario or Togekiss, mainly just because Nihilego is hard-walled by our Cresselia and by our Magearna. Lucario is a scary setup threat, although it can't really freely set up on too much, so Togekiss does have a really good matchup, so I'm a little bit iffy on whether or not he'll bring either Porygon 2 or Nihilego. I can definitely see one of those, or 2 of those, or both of those I should say, being substituted for either one of his 3 last mons or one of the 2 first mons on the bottom row essentially. So yeah, with that being said, let's take a look at the first team member that we will be bringing this week. So we are going to be starting off with a Milk Tank here. As you can see, Charizard X Dragon Dancing is absurdly terrifying. Dragon Dance, Flare Blitz, Roost, and Dragon Claw could potentially just sweep us right out, and that's the set I'm kind of really scared of. Someone in my front office did mention that a potential sub DD set could come, so that's something I'm also really terrified of, and that's actually why we are running Earthquake on a Milk Tank here, because Body Slam originally would not break the sub of a bulky Charizard X. So at least by having Earthquake, I think we always guarantee breaking the sub from Charizard X. And then with Thick Fat and Rocky Helmet, we can wear him down with the chip from the Rocky Helmet, and we can eat up Flare Blitzes for days. And then Dragon Claw shouldn't be doing entirely too much damage to us. I do not expect him to bring the Outrage, because if he brings Outrage and he locks himself into Outrage, I bring in Magearna and just set up potentially, and then that alone can sweep through his team. So I don't think he would want to give me that potential setup option. So I don't expect Outrage, but definitely like Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance. Those 3 moves I definitely expect. Maybe Roost or Earthquake could be his last move, but if it's like a bulky DD set, it's going to be a little bit scary to deal with. Stealth Rocks are going to be very important in this match. We chip down his entire team and mainly get off that 25 or potentially 50% on the Charizard X, which can be absurdly terrifying. Now this set can not do anything to Landorus outside of Toxic It. And speaking of Landorus, that thing is going to be absurdly terrifying if it is Double Dance Z move, or if it's just like Swords Dance Stealth Rock Z move. And another thing about this matchup is that he doesn't really have the best stealth rockers in his draft, because his stealth rockers are Landorus and Nihilego. Nihilego already has a terrible matchup this game, and then Landorus potentially wants to run again either double dance with dual stab or swords dance with I guess stealth rocks, but then he only still has 2 offensive moves. But I think having that third offensive option would also be really good for the Landorus in this game. So I don't know, I guess I could maybe see stealth rocks swords dance potentially coming, but I don't know, man. It's very hard to really pinpoint what set Landorus wants to bring to this game. But if I'm able to Toxic it, then we will be able to deal with it a little bit easier. So Toxic can be spread throughout his entire squad basically, and when we don't Toxic, we can hit with an Earthquake. So that's really good in itself. And yeah, that's pretty much Milk Tank. We are running just standard max defense and max HP, so we can take hits as well as possible, because we don't really need this to dish out hits. And there's not much that should be able to hit us on the special side that we aren't able to cover with something else in our squad. So our next team member here is going to be our second physically defensive wall, which is going to be Ember Moon, aka Cresselia. Now the reason why we're running physically defensive Ember Moon here is because this is potentially our best way of dealing with Landorus. Now the scary thing about Landorus is that if he is Swords Dance Flynium Z, we're straight O-code by Supersonic Sky Strike, and that sucks. But if we can protect on the turn that we expect him to go for the Z move, then we take the hit into a +2 fly, and then from there we should be able to hopefully knock him out with the Ice Beam. So that's really good. So if he for some reason is not an offensive Landorus, which I would bet money that he's probably going to bring offensive Landorus just because of how good of a matchup it really has. So if he is offensive Landorus like I'm expecting, and if he's not Z move, then Cresselia just becomes the ultimate switch in to the Landorus. Like Landorus will not be able to break through Cresselia whatsoever, and I think that's going to be really great in this matchup in general. Toxic Protect is really nice as well, just so we can wear down his walls like Vaporeon, Porygon 2, Togekiss, rack up damage on Landorus, Charizard, potentially even Golisopod, as well as I guess Rotom and Sneasel. Maybe if they're choice sets like Choice Banded Sneasel, or like Choice Specs or Choice Scarf Rotom, or even like Scarf Landorus potentially, then we can protect on those, scout out to see what they want to lock themselves into. Also Protect is really handy because we can maybe force the Superior to waste Leaf Storms on us, and because Leaf Storm only has 8 PP, if we're able to protect on those Leaf Storms, then he's going to be wasting Leaf Storms, and eventually he's going to run out, and it's not going to be as scary because it could not boost anymore at that point essentially. Actually, speaking of Superior, Leech Seed Superior is going to be really annoying in this match if he does want to bring Leech Seed Superior. I expect a more defensive set just because he wants to have something to switch into potentially Choice Banded Zydog, which has a really good matchup this game in my opinion. So yeah, definitely expect a more bulky Superior, and if it's Leech Seed, then we'll definitely have to be careful with that. So yeah, the Moonlight is there just to kind of gain back some type of recovery in general. So yeah, between Cresselia and our Milk Tank, we should be able to deal with this physically offensive Mons, and hopefully they won't be able to break through this very bulky, thick core. So moving on to the final member of our defensive core for this week, that is going to be Asuka, aka Magearna here, making her return. Of course, Magearna is a monster, and I really love Magearna, and for some reason, I am missing a move. Why am I missing a move? That should be Floral Cannon. Okay, I will have to fix this before the match. Okay, that's weird. That final move should be Floral Cannon. I don't really know why it doesn't have Floral Cannon. Okay. Anyways, Floral Cannon is supposed to be our final move. Between Ice Beam and Volt Switch, I think we already hit everything and anything that he could bring for neutral or super effective damage. The great thing about Floral Cannon as well is that that acts as an instant nuke on things like Charizard, Landorus, Superior even, although Ice Beam I think does the same amount of damage as Floral Cannon. We can Floral Cannon potentially Vaporeon, and actually we are running -2 speed IVs if I'm not mistaken on this Magearna, so we can get a slow Volt Switch out from the Vaporeon. Because if we were to outspeed Vaporeon, then whatever we bring in might have to take a Scald or a Toxic. At least this way Magearna can take the Scald, take the Toxic, we Volt Switch out into potentially one of our 3 offensive Mons, which we will be getting into after Magearna here. So yeah, really nice idea there by one of the front office homies, being able to point that out, because I would have never thought of that. So yeah, thank you for that. But Volt Switch, Ice Beam, and Floor Cannon do hit everything. Floor Cannon, as I said, is just a really good nuke. Also, Floor Cannon does really help to ensure that Lucario does not just freely set up on this type of Magearna set. Although, I don't think he would want to try and set up on Magearna in the first place, because we could have the Aura Sphere, which still does really good damage to Lucario because it's super effective. But just a very spadef, bulky Magearna here. This also acts as our switch in to the Nihilego, which I don't expect. Sneasel potentially, and most importantly, Superior. Like, this is the main answer that we have for Superior on his squad. So we are going to have to be a little bit careful with how we play Magearna. But the great thing is, with Pain Split, we can gain back HP on anything that is still rocking a lot of HP throughout the match, which is going to be really handy, I think, because that Pain Split could definitely save us and come in very, very handy to stop us from getting KO'd from like a +2 hidden power fire from Superior, essentially. So Magearna, while it's not going to be sweeping this match most likely, it can still be a very good pivot mon, gains us momentum with Volt Switch, as well as just being able to hit pretty hard with the Floral Cannon, and then Ice Beam hits pretty much everything else, essentially. So yeah, moving on to the final, not the final, what, I can't count, moving on to our first team member of our offensive core. We got good old Guerrero the Infernape here, rocking a nice Choice Scarf set, and I am a little bit upset that I've not found it at all this entire season to bring Z-Move Infernape, man. I don't know why. I just see, I mentioned to my front office, I was like, hey, we probably don't need Z-Move Infernape. Like, it's really good on paper as a threat. And Z-Move Infernape did have its merits this match, though. Like, if you look at his team, like Swords Dance, maybe like Fightinium Z or Firium Z just pretty much blows back anything and everything on his team that Infernape outspeeds, which is basically everything but the Sneasel. So yeah, like SD, Fightinium Z, and Infernape would have just absolutely nuked his entire squad. But the main reason why we decided to bring Infernape is because we needed some type of speed control. We needed some type of mon that could stop something like Scarf Landorus, any potential Scarfer he would want to bring, essentially. But most importantly, this is going to be a check to +1 speed Dragon Dance Charizard X. As I said, Dragon Dance Zard X is terrifying. If we're not able to weaken it, if it just gets free Dragon Dances, that thing is going to just basically bend us over. So we have to be very, very careful with Charizard X this match. And by having Scarfed Infernape, if we can keep Zard X at only +1 speed, with us being able to damage him and threaten him and put him at about 50-ish to like 50 to almost 60-ish% range, then I think close combat should be able to knock him out. I don't remember the damage calc off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure we do at least like 50% minimum to Zard X. So that's really good. So if we're able to get up rocks even after he megas, all we need to do is just get off a little bit of chip, put him in range, and then we knock him out. We have Hidden Power Ice, mainly for the Landorus if we need some way of trying to revenge kill it, if it is not a rock polished variant, or if it is Scarf, then we outspeed it, revenge it. Flare Blitz is just really nice to spam once we get rid of Zardex, Vaporeon, and the Nihilego. So it's going to come in really, really handy. And then we can just spam close combat once we weaken the Landorus. And that's really it. Landorus, we just got to get rid of Landorus and potentially Rotom, I guess, if he were to bring Rotom, and I guess Togekiss. So yeah, once like, so basically, in order for Infernape to sweep, essentially, we just got to get rid of like 3 mons for one of its dual stabs to put in work, which could be very likely, or we just have to weaken those mons severely, and then Infernape can come in, potentially sweep late game, and then at that point just kind of clean up. So yeah, really hoping Infernape does put in a lot of work this match. Our next team member is going to be Shinsuke, aka the Mega Medicham. I did make it to where you could see the Mega form instead of the regular form. Obviously, I'm not going to bring the Mega form immediately to him. I can't even do that. It's going to be a regular Medicham, and then it Mega Evolves. So before anybody gets upset, just calm your horses, calm down. It's not that serious. Don't be a sheep. Just get over it. Okay, so we do have Mega Medicham here. And look at his team. Look at Mega Medicham. I'll wait. Like, just look. I count 11 Death Fodders. Between Bolt Beam coverage and a high jump kick, everything, every single last Pokemon is either O-Code or straight 2-hit KO'd. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Well, I guess unless they have a weakening berry. But besides those like 3 factors, I guess. Well, actually, just the berries, really. Like, just the berries, essentially. Like, if they're not running some type of weakening berry, everything is O-code or 2-hit KO'd. And there's really nothing he can do about it. This comes in on so much of his team. This thing can be really great to revenge kill 2, potentially a weakened Superior, weakened Landorus, weakened Rotom, Sneasel, Togekiss if it's Scarfed, I guess, and even ZardX if it's low enough. Like, Bullet Punch does have a lot of good useful merits in this match, and I'm hoping it does kind of come in handy. But between Ice Punch and Thunder Punch, along with High Jump Kick, everything just kind of dies. Like, there's not really much to say about this set, honestly. Like, yeah, things just drop. We're running max attack, enough speed to outspeed Landorus, because I didn't feel like it was worth running enough speed to tie with like Jolly ZardX, because I'm probably gonna lose the speed tie anyways. So I might as well just have, I guess, like a little bit of bulk in my HP there, and there's no way I would go Adamant, because then Jolly Landorus outspeeds us, and that could be very bad in itself. So I figured Jolly was probably the best way to go. Plus, we still just hit ridiculously hard. Like, this thing is absurd, honestly. Like, it's crazy. I've really been liking Mega Medicham this season. I'm liking it a little bit more than I thought I would. Like, I expected it to put in work, I expected it to be a threat, but it's just, it matches, it just comes in, I just click a button and things just drop. So I absolutely love that. I will probably definitely be using this again in the future sometime. So moving on to the final team member now, and the final member of our offensive core here. Why are all my mons messing up? This should be Zygarde 10%. Why did this not work? What the heck? Okay, well that's just annoying. Alright, should have double checked. But hey, it's fine. It'll be fixed during the actual match. This is just annoying. I'm sorry. But just pretend this is a dog, not a snake. So we have Zydog 10% here, rocking out a nice choice banded set. Once he loses Superior, this basically comes in and we just spam arrows. Plus, another good thing about this matchup is that Edge Quake coverage basically hits everything and anything that he could want to bring, honestly. Like, Stone Edge hits everything that 1,000 arrows wouldn't typically hit. Basically, just Superior, essentially. Like, between Superior, Golisopod, and Togekiss, those 3 take more damage from Stone Edge. So, on the switch in after rocks, Stone Edge is a potential 2-hit KO on all 3 of those mons, depending on exactly how much bulk investment they have. And if I'm able to get rid of Superior early in the match, then I basically come in with Dog anytime I want and click arrows and basically severely weaken something or 2-hit KO anything on his team. So that's going to be really amazing. Plus, if I get rid of Togekiss with the Stone Edge, then I come in with Zydog and I click Outrage, and Outrage does way more damage than 1,000 arrows. So he's basically going to have to pick his poison. If I'm able to catch Superior or Togekiss with the Stone Edge, I 2-hit KO them, and then I just click 1,000 arrows or Outrage and basically win. Extreme Speed is also really nice there to kind of be able to revenge kill ZardX if it's weak enough, a boosted Landorus as well. Outspeed Sneasel's priority Ice Shard, because E-Speed is +2 speed, and then Ice Shard is only +1 speed, so we outspeed the Ice Shard, which is we out-prioritize the Ice Shard, sorry, is what I meant to say. And then, yeah, like, honestly, Zydog, along with Mega Medicham, like, these 2 are just going to be able to come in and basically break things. So this is what I meant earlier by having Volt Switch on Magearna. We get a slow Volt Switch out on Vaporeon, and then we bring in Medicham, or we bring in Zydog, and things just basically drop. So I'm hoping Zydog and Mega Medicham put in a lot of work this match. That is going to be our squad for this week, guys. I will make sure to fix these errors actually right now, right after I'm done with this, so I don't forget before the match. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, hammer arm that thumbs up button and down below. As always, let me know in the comment section below what are the 6 mons you would have brought to this match if you were us building for our opponent, Mr. Deebs. His channel link will be down in the description. The match will be going up live tomorrow on Sunday. And with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. So later, everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6 foot hacks. 6 foot hacks, hacks.
Yeah.
6 foot hacks, hacks.
Yeah.
6 foot hacks, hacks.